Greetings, fellow Watford fans. Omar here, and it's time for the Orns 10-minute take on Blackpool 3, Watford 1. And so today at Bloomfield Road, Slaven Bilic had called for his Watford side to be more aggressive and to dominate the game. And that kind of call fell on deaf ears, I'm afraid, because the Watford team disregarded what he had to say. And in this, his third match in this era of Slaven Bilic, the Watford players capitulated, diddled, dawdled, and couldn't care less. That was the preview of this game, and the preview was laid out in the first 10 minutes of the game as Blackpool, much the better side, much more the urgent side, a side that sat just above the relegation zone before start of play in the championship, was the side that thoroughly outclassed the Watford team, who had ambitions, if you can believe it, of getting promoted back to the Premier League this season at the end of it. Well, it looks like more like a relegation struggle for this side, the way they've been playing lately. In fact, their performances outside of one against Stoke a few short days ago would show that is where Watford will likely be in the bottom half of the table throughout the rest of the season, unless they are more committed, because they weren't today. Blackpool in the first 10 minutes were committed, and over the balance of this match were committed. They cared. They wanted the game. They played for their wages, did the Blackpool players, effortlessly passing through Watford players like they were standing still, like they were cardboard cutouts, because that's how Blackpool treated Watford today. Blackpool didn't have to respect Watford because Blackpool had a mission, and that mission was to pick up 3 points, and they deservedly did in the first half, playing the way that they play. I warned you about this in the Friday Focus. This Blackpool side is a tricky outfit, and that Watford knew that they had to be prepared for this. You shouldn't take Blackpool lightly. That's one of the things I also said, because although they are at the wrong end of the table at the moment, they're not playing like that in these games. They are a very forward thinking outfit. Blackpool hurt Watford today with that mentality that they had to keep kicking on no matter what. And Blackpool scored after just 10 minutes of this game and rightly got in front, and they deserved to. Watford, as they have on a number of occasions this season, have decided to wait until the opposition score first, then to get started. And they got started and then started to play some good football in the first half, running at the Blackburn defense, causing the Blackpool defense, pardon me, causing Blackpool a lot of problems, and also creating some chances in that first half with Ismail Assar, who should have scored, and Loser, who didn't score. And then finally, there was a breakthrough on the half-hour mark, a great free kick just outside the 18-yard box by Imran Loser in his first start this season, scoring his first ever Watford goal. It was a beauty of a goal too, curled right in from the right side into the top right-hand corner of the Blackpool net. A sublime finish, a sublime goal, a great free kick. Only the second free kick that Watford have scored from now in the last 2 years. Back in 2021, of course, you may remember that Adam Messina did the same thing against Cardiff City from almost the same area of the pitch, as well as Watford in that game got a late winner. And in this game today, they got an equalizer that was well deserved for all of their dominance in the next half of the first half. But Watford, try as they might, could not get anything more in the first half. And that really was the end of Watford for the game, because Watford just did not turn up effectively or efficiently in the second half. And Blackpool, I'm sure, given a lot of choice words at halftime by Michael Appleton, did show up. Blackpool put on the performance that was worthy of their 3-1 victory. They harried Watford. They challenged Watford. They closed down a lot of the space that Watford had to roam in the first half. They shut up shop in the second half, did not allow Saw to run down that right channel. They had two defenders on him, blocking him off so that his play became very stagnant, and he was forced to drift inside, where he was met with a number of defenders. So that was the plan, to stop that right side, to block that up and channel everything toward the middle of the pitch, which is what Watford were forced into because of the fact that they did not really readjust or reshift their alignment or their formation after that. And that right side was well held down by Blackpool. And they used that to block up a lot of the space in midfield, clogged up the game for Watford, made it tough for Watford to really get anywhere into open spaces. And on the occasions that Watford did have time to go into spaces, their end product was horrible in the second half, let them down severely. No real cutting edge going forward, and the end product was absolute marmite. It was terrible. And Watford's performance in the second half was abject. The defense was non existent today, and certainly in that second half. And further bad news for Watford, Ken Sema went off at halftime injured. That will be a big concern for Watford. And Sierralta, who was, I think, the best defender Watford had on Wednesday against Swansea, maybe apart from Matty Pollock, who only played about 20 minutes of the game. I think once that Sierralta was injured the other day, we were wondering if he'd come back, but he did come back, and he came back today. And after being on the pitch for just 10 minutes, he got injured again. May have reoccurred. It might have been a reoccurrence of the injury he had on Wednesday, or it could be a new injury. But now Sierralta is out again, and now could be out for goodness knows how long. We will see what happens. But that's the other bad news today in that defense. And Watford really have not looked good in defense. We've known this for a long time. The owner doesn't care about remodeling and reshaping and upgrading the defense sufficiently. Courtney Hawes is out, and he's going to be out for an extended period, we're being told. And we missed someone like a Courtney Hawes today, for sure. We missed him desperately in this game. He would have provided, I think, some leadership in that Watford back line, because Christian Cavaselli, who was captain of the day, would you believe? He was captain today, did not provide anything in the way of leadership or competence on the pitch, and especially for the second goal that Blackpool scored, because Blackpool was only going to be the winner today. There was only ever going to be one winner in this game, and it was going to be the man in orange and tangerine, because they made it count in the game around the 80-minute mark. It was that man, Mr. Yates, who scored his first of 2 goals, and he did score it well. Jerry Yates, who I think was the star player for them today by far for Blackpool, made it count with a really good finish. Now, the way that happened, though, was not good. And I'll talk about both of the goals that were scored by Jerry Yates, because he did score the 2. How the Watford defense can get away with backing off. Let me make that clearer. How Christian Cavaselli, a veteran defender, captain of the team, can back off in the 80th minute or so against a player who is running at the defense, running at him, against him, in the box, is inexcusable. And this is a substitute, Hamilton, I forget his first name, who came on for Blackpool with the ball, dribbling with purpose, going at Cavaselli. And Cavaselli treated him like he was a bull. Matador, Matador, I'm going to just step out of your way. In fact, Cavaselli retreated away from Hamilton, allowing Hamilton the space to cross the ball into the area, into the box, to find an unmarked Jerry Yates, who lashed the ball in for the first of 2 goals for him. Blackburn 2, Watford 1. That was game over at that point. Watford had a chance, but did not execute. But it was all Blackpool. And Blackpool thoroughly deserved their victory. The second Blackpool goal for Jerry Yates, and their third overall, came just a few minutes later, around the 85th, 86th, 87th minute, somewhere around there. And the hammer blow came. And this was even more appalling, was the way that Watford defended it, because as Jerry Yates weaved in around 3 or 4 Watford players, he just lashed the ball past Daniel Backman, who, had it not been for Backman, this game could have been 5 or 6-1 Blackpool. He made some excellent point blank saves, especially in the second half. But again, Blackpool made Watford look horrible today, and Watford were bad anyway. And Blackpool shredded that defense, that shambolic defense that we've got, that the owner doesn't want to do anything to improve. And to see Jerry Yates look like Maradona or Messi or Pele is an absolute disgrace. You can't do that. I mean, I give Jerry Yates credit for a great finish on that goal, but you can't let Jerry Yates or any player from Blackpool waltz in to your box like that, between defenders like that, dribbling past 1, dribbling past 2, dribbling past 3, then composing himself and taking the shot and making a superb goal out of it. You can't let that happen. I know Jerry Yates has got talent, Blackpool have got talent, but you can't make it easy for Jerry Yates to do that in that spot. And these Watford defenders are playing absolute checkers on a chessboard. You cannot play checkers on a chessboard with a team like Blackpool who can hurt you. Blackpool are playing chess. Watford were playing checkers today. They were playing drafts. You can't play drafts with a team that's playing chess. You just can't do that. And Watford allowed that today. They were abysmal. They were problematic. They were not into the game at all. They didn't care. They weren't committed. They are mirroring the owner. They are mirroring this owner. They are absolutely mirroring the owner of the club. And the owner's reluctance to do anything to strengthen the defense in any appreciable way has now seeped into the mentality, I think, of this team on the pitch. And Cristiano Gioretta is an absolute albatross in this club as well. He has to go. He has to go. He's not going to go because he's one of Gino's men, and Gino, who had actually got rid of him and then brought him back, has made that clear. So at this point, with poor performance, Kayembe was poor again today. He got subbed off. Cavaselli should have been subbed off, should never have started. I don't want to see Cavaselli play another game for this club. I really don't. Cavaselli has cost us at least 2 games this season. He cost us a win against Sunderland when he jumped out of the way, mistimed his clearance, his jump against the incoming corner for Sunderland when Watford are up 2-1 in the 87th minute. And he cost us again today when he actually backed off. You have to watch the video of this. He actually backs off of Hamilton as Hamilton has the ball in the Watford penalty box. It's incredible to watch. It's incredible that he actually did this. And this is the captain of your team. What message is the captain sending when he backs off of an advancing Blackpool player in the box with just a few minutes to go? What kind of leadership is that from Christian Cavaselli if he's backing off of a player from the opposing team in the closing minutes of the game? What message is that sending to the rest of the Watford lads? What message is that sending to the fans? And what message is that sending to the board and the owner and the manager? You can't have that happening at your club. You can't have that. This is a veteran defender. This is the captain of the team. And this is a mockery. If you like this video, please subscribe to the Orns WFC YouTube channel. This has been the Orns 10-minute take.